Hi everyone, it's me, Laura. I'm not going to do a Harry Potter haul today, but I'm going to do like Harry Potter questions. Unfortunately, I don't know how to put the questions up on the video, but I will try and figure out so they might be up. Um, so first question is, what Hogwarts house would I be in if I was at Hogwarts? Well, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I'm Hufflepuff. And I'm a proud Hufflepuff. I got sorted into Hufflepuff in Pottermore, and every other quiz I've done online or wherever else, I've always had Hufflepuff. I think I've had Ravenclaw a few times, but I've always been Hufflepuff. I'm definitely not brave enough or daring enough to be in Gryffindor. I'm not really ambitious enough to be in Slytherin. And I'm definitely not smart enough to be in Ravenclaw. Although I have a bit, apparently I'm quite witty. But I doubt it. But yeah, Hufflepuff, without a doubt, yeah. Okay. If the sorting hat was on you and it said you'd be great in a house you didn't consider before, will you follow his advice or choose what house you want? Oh, hard one. I think I'd go with what the sorting hat told me, even if he told me Slytherin, because yeah, I think I would probably go. Or see, I think Hufflepuff, a lot of people underestimate the Hufflepuff people and they kind of get forgotten about a little bit, so yeah, I think I think I'd probably still stick with Hufflepuff. Okay, number 3. What kind of animal would I bring to school with me? Well, an owl would be really handy to have, although if it was in modern day Hogwarts, I'd assume they'd like to have mobile phones and stuff, but an owl would be good if they still use Owl for post. If not, a cat, because I've always wanted a cat, and because we've always had dogs at home, we've never been allowed a cat, so yeah, cat. Not like Crookshanks though. Okay, number 4. Let me see. What is my wand? Well, on Pottermore my wand is Hawthorn with unicorn. Yeah, Hawthorn with unicorn core, which actually is exactly the same as Draco Malfoy's, which is a bit, yeah, it's a bit quite worrying. Though Draco, it's a bit scary. And plus, if you go on Pottermore and you read your wand and the core and your wood, both of them contradict each other. So one says it's churned out most evil lizards and the other doesn't, so I'm a bit confused. Do I think I'd be part of the Quidditch team? Definitely not. I'm scared of heights. So no, I wouldn't. I'd be quite happy just cheering in the stands. No, I wouldn't play Quidditch. Would I be part of any organisation? I definitely would sign up for Dumbledore's army. Yeah. I just like the idea of a group of teenagers learning all these really cool defensive stuff and how it benefited all those people in the Battle of Hogwarts. Yeah, Dumbledore's army. Be a very proud member of them. Would I go home during the holidays? Well, one, it would depend if all my friends were staying, because I wouldn't like to be Billy no mates. So, 2, it would depend how much I miss my family and friends at home. And 3, it would depend on if there was a Yule Ball happening. And so, yeah, probably it would just depend, I think, on what's happening. Next, do you think I'd have friends from any of the other houses? I'd like to hope so. I'm not one of the, yeah, especially if I was in Dumbledore's army and there is loads of other, people from other houses, yeah. And obviously I'd like to be friends with the Weasley twins, and they're in Gryffindor, obviously. Though I don't think I'd be cool enough to be their friend. Oh goodness, what would I pack in my Hogwarts trunk? Everything probably but the kitchen sink. Yeah, it would also depend if Hogwarts was very modern, and if you're allowed like iPhones and iPads and things. But yeah, I'd probably take just a lot of like home comforts, like my own pillow and things, and my teddy bear, and pictures of my friends and family, and I think just, yeah, pack loads of stuff. I always pack loads of stuff when I go away. I don't do light. So when I'm going home for the holidays, what would I take home with me? I definitely would rate honey chicks. Yeah, my dad especially likes chocolate and sweets, so I'd probably bring the whole selection of chocolate and sweets back home from honey chicks. So I would. Would I ever consider studying in another wizarding school? No. It'll be bad and sounds quite cool, but no. I think I'm quite happy at Hogwarts. Don't think there's one in Ireland, is there? No. Great. Okay. Do I think I'd be head boy or head girl? Obviously not head boy, but head girl. No. Or no, definitely not. No, I wasn't in my secondary school, so definitely not. And I'd love to be a prefect. I was never a prefect at secondary school. I know my friends were, but I wasn't. I was kind of gutted about that, actually. Are you going to be pureblood or half-blood or muggle-born? I'm assuming I'll be muggle-born. And actually, it's quite cool. I read on Tumblr that when Voldemort came into power, that all the muggle-born records were destroyed. And the Battle of Hogwarts is in 1998. I left primary school in 98, so I also started secondary school in 98. So I like to think that my records were destroyed, and that's why I didn't get my Hogwarts letter. So that was my logic anyway. Well, actually, the Battle of Hogwarts was Battle of Hogwarts was 98, wasn't it? Please do correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, 98. Yeah, 98 because, yeah, that's right. Okay. Getting confused. Okay, will I be related to another wizarding family? Well, if I'm muggle-born, probably not, but unless I marry, and, I'd like to marry George Weasley, so yeah, I really want to become a member of the Weasley family, because they're awesome. Okay. Will I be a student who gets into trouble or not? A lot. I never got into trouble at secondary school at all. And the whole 5 years I was there, I never had one detention, so probably not, no. Although, if I'm wanting to be friends with the Weasley twins, chances are I probably might. But yeah, they might lead me astray. Do you think you'll get detention a lot? Like I said, no. I never got into detention at school. I was a good girl, and I still didn't get a prefect. Dear me. But no, I'd like to, if I was friends with friend George, I think I'd like to maybe rein them in a bit. Maybe stop them getting into trouble. It's alright, I've got something in my eye. Let me see. During Hogsmeade visits, what shops will I go into? Honeyjicks, without a doubt. Yeah, Honeyjicks would probably be my favourite shop, because I'm a complete chocoholic, so yeah. If the Weasley twins had their new shop, because remember they were going to overtake, or they were buying Zunkos, probably go in there, but I don't know if Joke products would be my cup of tea, so probably not. Honeyjicks, definitely. Will you be supportive of your house's Quidditch team? Of course I will. Yeah, definitely. You've got to stick by your... Yeah, Hufflepuffs are loyal. Of course they're going to stick by their Quidditch team. Okay. Will you read Hogwarts history? Of course. I would love J.K. Rowling to write Hogwarts history, because I love... Pottermore's good, but I think Hogwarts history would be amazing to have. I think it would be so cool to have. Do you think you'd get a lot of letters from home? Probably not, no, because Mum... Can't really imagine my mum sitting down and writing letters. Yeah, I can't... No. It's not that they don't love me, I just think no. Would you subscribe to the Daily Prophet or the Quibbler? I don't know. I would probably just borrow somebody else's, I think, and read them. I'm not really interested in the daily news or something. It's a lot of press. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the press. I'm not going to go in there. So, which part of the Cat of Hogwarts would be my favourite? Well, having been to the studio tour, the Great Hall just looked incredible when I walked into it. So I think the Great Hall would be amazing. Plus, like, it's when all the schools gathered together, and the food I think would be incredible. Great Hall, I think the common room as well would be quite nice. I can just imagine just sitting by the fire and reading the book. Hermione eat her heart out. I think the grounds would actually be quite nice in the summer as well. It'd be nice to walk around in the sun or sit outside and just chill. What do we see? When sleeping in your dormitory, will your four-poster bed's curtains be drawn or closed? Probably closed. Yeah, they'd be closed. I think. Somebody's just went into the bathroom next door. Okay. If the team your house played against wins, do you think you'd be better towards the other team, the winning team? No. When it comes to sport, I'm not really better. I don't really follow football or anything, so no, I don't think I'd be better. Maybe I probably would if the other team, like, say they played Slytherin and all the Slytherins were being really mean, then I might. But or if they won for being really cruel, probably would be better. Do you think you'll be a fan of Wizards music? It would depend. I don't know. I'd have to listen to it first to see. Although I'd like to introduce a lot of the Wizarding people to, like, Muggle music, like McFly and One Direction and stuff. Let me see. Would I be curious to explore the whole castle? Probably not. No, I wouldn't. Be a bit scared in case something jumped out at me. Excuse me a second. No, I don't. I wouldn't be brave enough. Maybe if I had Fred or George with me, yeah, I would. How frequent would my visits to the library be? Maybe just to do coursework or homework. No, I don't think it'd be that frequent. So, not as frequent as Hermione anyway. Or if the common room was too noisy, then I might take refuge in the library. If I was to get a detention, what task would you prefer? Would you want to scrub cauldrons or clean trophies or sort through unlabelled books? It depends. Probably unsort the book. I'd sort the books out, I think. I'm not. Scrub cauldrons? No, definitely not. On your Isles, what subjects would I get an O in? And which ones do you think you'd get a T in? I'm assuming O. Oh god. Well, I definitely feel potions. I don't like. Yeah, I don't think I'd like. Probably pass defense against dark arts or maybe charms, but. How about newts? I actually quite like the idea of doing Muggle studies for some reason. Yeah, I definitely feel potions. I wouldn't even get to do potion newts, especially if Snape was teaching. If I was pureblood, would I take an interest in reading Muggle literature? Yeah, I can't see why not, yeah. Okay, would I prefer fire whiskey or butter beer? Well, I don't really drink alcohol, so anyway, so I don't think I like fire whiskey, and I didn't like the butter beer at the studio tour, so I'm very eager to try pumpkin juice though. I really want to try it. What wizard snack would be your favourite? I really want to try treacle fudge, actually. It sounds really nice. Or, yeah, the chocolate frogs, even though I've ate one. So, chocolate frogs. Berry boss beans, no. Will I collect the chocolate frog cards? Yeah, of course I would. I am collecting them. What Quidditch team would I support outside of Hogwarts? Ireland? Even Northern Ireland. Yeah, yeah. yeah, I would support Ireland. Which classes would I take for my newts? Transfiguration Charms, Defence Against the Dark Arts, Muggle Studies. I did put Potions down, but I doubt again. What would my Bogart be? Ooh, that's actually quite a scary thought. Probably the death of one of my friends or family, I'd say. I'm actually scared of quite a lot of things. Heights, I don't know how that would be put into a Bogart. Let's see. Would I ever stay in the Hog's Head or the Three Broomsticks? Probably not, no. I don't know. Never know who could be lurking around. If you are a veg, would you try and enter the Tri-Wizard tournament? No. I'm a wimp. No. Definitely not, no. I couldn't cope. What would I think would happen through graduation at Hogwarts? I'd like to hope it's like, I was going to say like normal graduations, but I suppose my graduation that I had was probably completely different to the like American style one. I just can picture the graduation scene in High School Musical 3. But no, I'd like to think that we'd go up, we get like different robes and hats with like our house colours in them, and we'd go up and we'd get given a certificate and stuff. Just like giving it by like our, but obviously they had math and math. Well, we'll say Dumbledore and Professor Sprout because she's the Hufflepuff house thing. But yeah, be quite cool. Yeah. Do they even graduate from Hogwarts? Would I see the can't say it. Thestrals pulling the carriages? I would like to hope not. I would hope I wouldn't. If I was invited to the Slug Club, would I join? What was that one? Yeah, I'd accept the invitation to join. Why not? I get to go to a party, so. Would I consider being a professor in Hogwarts? Well, I am qualified to work with kids, but I have never thought of doing teaching before, so probably not. Maybe as assistant rather than a teacher, but not as a full-blown professor. What would my Patronus be? Well, in a couple of the quizzes I'd done, my Patronus was a rabbit. Not a hare like Luna's, a rabbit. So, and when it said what it meant, it was quite, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's like me. What memory would I think of to conjure my Patronus? Oh, that's a hard question. It would have to be quite strong, wouldn't it? Probably when I visited the Harry Potter tour, I think would be quite, yeah, there's a few things, yeah. I don't know. I'd have to see what would work. Okay, and the last question. Well, it says what year would I be in if I was at Hogwarts. Well, as I'm 26, I would be long gone out of Hogwarts. So, yeah, I wouldn't be at Hogwarts anymore. So yeah, that's one of the quizzes. I'm going to do a few of these because there's different questions in each of them. So that's one of them. That is my life at Hogwarts. So, thank you for listening to my rambling on.